So today is day 2 of our science unit, and we have been learning all about matter. So just to review what we talked about yesterday, we learned that matter is anything that takes up space or has mass. So yesterday, I was able to walk around my classroom and I chose different pieces of matter and different objects, and I sorted them by their different properties. Today we're still going to be talking about matter, only today we're going to be talking about the states of matter.
Okay, so here's day 2 of science, and we are talking about the states of matter. Solid, liquid, and gas are 3 states of matter. In this picture, the boy's goggles are solid. So here's the boy's goggles. They're solid. The water he is swimming in is liquid. So here's the water. It's liquid. And the ball is filled with gases. So here the ball is probably filled with air. So it is gas, mass of a solid. Okay, so solid. Look at the beach chair, towel, and goggles. How are these objects the same? So let's look at this picture right here. We have a chair, a towel, and goggles. Well, we know they're the same because they're all solid. A solid is the only state of matter that has its own shape. We know these are solid because they all have their own shape. You can measure the mass of a solid. Okay, so let's look at this picture down here. This picture shows the molecules of a solid. And as you can see, it's the shape of a cube. And every single one of these little particles are so close together that they're touching and they make a shape. That is exactly what's going on with these solids. These solids have a ton of little tiny molecules holding them together, pushing against each other with a force. That's why it's a solid. Here's some more examples of solids. Here we have some dye. Here we have some dice. We have a bed, a bike, some potato chips, an umbrella, a book, a clock, and 20 baht. These are all different solids. The molecules are pushing them together and causing them to have a shape. Okay, so the next state of matter is liquid. Liquid does not have its own shape. If you pour juice from a pitcher into a glass, the shape of the juice changes. Okay, so let's look at this picture. We have a glass full of orange juice. See, the liquid inside here does not have its own shape. Right now, it's making the same shape as the glass. So the glass is a cylinder shape. So as you can see, the liquid inside of it is making a cylinder shape. But if I took this glass of orange juice and I poured it onto the ground, it would not have a cylinder shape anymore. Instead, it would make the shape of a puddle. If I poured this orange juice into a different cup, then it wouldn't make the same shape as this glass. It would make the shape of the new cup. See, liquid does not have its own shape. Juice is a liquid. A liquid is a state of matter that takes the shape of its container. So that's exactly what I just said. If I were to change the container, so the container is what the liquid is sitting in. If I changed the container and I put it into a different cup, it would no longer have the same shape as this cup. It would now have the shape of the new cup. So let's look down here at these molecules. As you can tell, when we were looking at the solid molecules, each little particle was so tight together and it made a shape. But here, these are the liquid molecules. These ones, they're not as close together. They look like they have movement. They're moving around. They don't have a shape. So when we looked at our solid molecules, we saw that it was a cube and they were very close together. They were all touching and pushing against each other. But here are liquid molecules. So this juice is full of little tiny molecules like this. Instead, these molecules look like they're moving around. Not all of them are touching, and they don't have their own shape. Okay, so here are some examples of liquid. See, this is a water bottle, and inside of it is the liquid. It's some water. But the water is taking up the shape of the water bottle. Same exact thing with these drinks. It looks like coffee or Thai tea maybe. And these are all liquids inside here, but they are taking up the shape of the jar that they're in. Here's a glass of milk. And here's rain coming down from the sky. That's a liquid. We have waves and water inside the ocean or the sea and swimming pools. The next state of matter is gas. So in this picture right here, this boy is blowing air into a beach ball. Air is made up of gases. A gas is a state of matter that fills up the space in a container. The air will keep spreading out until it fills the entire beach ball. So I don't know if you've ever blown up a balloon before or blown up a ball like this, but what happens is first you start blowing and it starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and finally it will be completely full of your air so that you can put the little cap on it, or you can tie the balloon at the end. And you might not know this, but your balloon or your ball is completely full of air. So what was happening was the ball was filling up with gas, and it just kept going and going and going until the space inside the container was completely full. And in this case, the container is the ball. So let's look at this picture right here. This is the different molecules of gas. Gas molecules don't have shape, and they're not touching each other. They're kind of just bouncing back and forth with each other. So you can find gas in a lot of different cases. So here, this little girl is holding a ton of balloons, and they're filled with helium, which is a type of gas. Here's a teapot that is steaming. It's so hot that water vapor is coming out of the water, and it's creating this type of steam. Did you know that the sun is a gas? Air is also a gas. Here is a picture of Bangkok on a really polluted, foggy day. That's a gas too. So now you should know a little bit more about the states of matter. You know that there are gas, liquid, and solids. You know that the molecules of a solid are very close together. They are tight and they are touching and they form a shape. The liquid molecules, they're not touching, they're moving, they're not as close as a solid, and they don't have a shape. And the gas molecules, they just fill up the container that they're in. So they're not touching each other. They might be bouncing off of each other, but they do not have a shape of their own, just like the solid does. Okay, so I want you to go back to Seesaw now and complete your activity for the day.